Hey. Today we're going to stop procrastination. We're going to finally do the things you promised yourself you were going to do, and you're going to figure out how to prevent it in the future. So stay tuned. Hey, everybody, I'm Carrie Wilkerson, and I am figuring out YouTube Live. Thanks for joining me on the journey. I've been doing videos for many years, but never with the YouTube Live. So I am practicing what I preach and just launching messy and going out there. And today, when I was trying to think about what I'm coaching clients on and what I'm working with business owners on, it's this resistance. Stephen Pressfield calls it this resistance, Seth Godin says, is from the primal brain that keeps us from doing what we say we're going to do, that keeps us from maybe doing scary things or maybe even just necessary things. And I've boiled it down into three simple things you can do right now to get over your dang self, to get over it and to get it done. I am the author of The Barefoot Executive, which was published in 2011, still relevant, still timely. And you can find me, carriewilkerson.com, fullyleveragedbusiness.com. And I coach seven-figure founders on how to have more of the three margins: time, energy, and obviously profit. But today, here's what I want to unlock for you. Are you ready? Okay. The key, the reason that you're not getting more done, the reason you're not getting the right things done is friction. This might be actual friction that exists because of a schedule or a technology or something, or it might be perceived friction that you're making up in your own head, or it might be created friction, also called a noble obstacle. John Acuff, the author, he calls that the noble obstacle. But first I have to, but first I gotta, but we create these noble obstacles to keep us from moving forward. But the key is recognizing that this is friction regardless. But how do I fix it? Carrie, how do I fix the friction? Number one, you have to find the friction. And this requires some self coaching. If you're not working with a coach, if you're not working with a mentor, if you're not working with someone to help you see this, you have to ask yourself, why am I resisting that? Let's use this YouTube channel as a timely story, right? I have been avoiding more YouTube. I have been avoiding more videos. Why? Because I didn't want to take the time to script things or edit things or polish things or figure the X, Y, Z, right? So, how do I find the friction? Okay, I have all of these things I have to figure out, all these things I have to do. I don't have time for that. I don't want to. I don't want to. It's friction. Then I have to face it. Okay, Carrie, these can be overcome. You're creating friction. Probably there's a simpler way. How do you just get it done? And then you fix it by removing the friction. So, what did I do? I'm going live on YouTube so that there's no editing. I'm going live on YouTube so that I'm accountable to a time in my schedule. I'm going live on YouTube so that I don't overthink it, overscript it, overproduce it. And I'm showing up and doing what I said I would do because I can polish progress, but I cannot predict perfection. Write that down. I can polish progress, but I cannot predict perfection. So, where is the friction you have? Okay, here are a couple other examples. For instance, Carrie, I don't know what to teach. I don't know what to create for my next course. I don't know. And you're creating this friction about overthinking, overpredicting. The fastest way to overcome that is to ask your customers, ask your audience, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? What is something you're struggling with right now that I can help you with? And you create around that. That's eliminating the friction. That is just getting it done. Another thing people struggle with is, oh, I have to create this course so that then I can then sell it. How do I face the friction? How do I find it? I find that I am creating that friction by not having time in my schedule, by not wanting to commit to, and then I face it, Carrie. I'm creating that friction because I'm having some fear or because it's simpler to chase tactic, shiny objects, and pretend to be working. And then I fix it. I say, you know what? Let's host a live class that then I can chop up afterwards. Let's put something on the calendar and pre-sell it so that then I have to show up. I have a deadline. I have a force function to make it happen. Sometimes our friction is the blank page. I have one of my 4 kids is a really great writer, but really struggles with the blank page. So we found that to be the friction. We faced it. Okay, it's a little overwhelming to have the blank page. So how do we fix it? What's easiest for us? Well, talking is easiest for she and I. So we sat there with a voice to text, like literally our phones, and I asked her some questions about the prompt. We talked a little bit about what she had read, about some of those ideas. And then we captured those things with voice to text. We got the text on the paper, and then she could go in and move it around and edit it. So, how can you reduce friction? One other example that I love to use with my clients when they are resisting emailing their list, or they're resisting uh, doing audios, or they're resisting some form of content creation, I say, how do you prefer to communicate? Clearly, we have a friction there that's stopping you from progress. Let's acknowledge it. Let's face it. How do we fix it? Okay, I really don't like how I look on video, Carrie. Okay, great. Is there any reason we can't use your phone or a microphone and do an audio? Is there any reason we can't do slides and have you do a voiceover? Conversely, Carrie, I really have a hard time thinking in terms of polished slides. Polished slides, great. Turn your camera on, talk to the camera like it's your bestie or like it's your favorite client. Your best method is not what everyone else is doing. Your best method is to reduce your own personal friction and start creating in that way. If you have a health goal or a fitness goal and you are having a hard time getting out and walking, whether it's because of the heat or the time or the schedule, great. Well, make it a priority to stand up during so many of your meetings, walk in place or get a walking pad or do some stretches. How do you reduce the friction of what you are creating as the obstacle? Okay, does that make sense? So we're going to find the friction, going to face it. I do this by talking to myself, coaching my own self. And then you're going to fix it by doing something with less friction or going around it. So call out your excuses and make it happen anyway. Just like I'm doing this video, I'm doing this live. There is no editing or post production. I am not overthinking or over scripting. Look, I have my post it notes with 3 points on it, and I'm talking to you because I think this is important for you and can make a big difference for you. So tell me in the comments below, what is a friction that you're facing? There is friction behind something that you're procrastinating on. There is friction behind something that you haven't done that's been on your list for a long time. There's a friction. Let's find it, let's face it, and the fact of it, and then find a way to fix it. Once you do that, then it's simpler from now on. You can either keep on in that same frictionless way, or maybe after you do it a few times, it becomes less scary and you can go at it a different, more polished way. You can find out more information at carriewilkerson.com/links. Those are in the comments. And you can get on the email list, get on the notification list, or why don't you go ahead and watch the most popular playlist on the channel, which is the 7-Day Business Blitz. Talk soon.